Okay, now you have to come in and put that in later. The expression in the song, let's go half on a baby. Okay, that's about all I really know about this video, besides it's a mixed guy and I think a Hispanic guy singing to some Latina woman or women about how wonderful they are, which is also like, yeah, whatever. So let's look at that expression, or let's think about that expression, let's go half on a baby. At this story, and I saw this originally on Willie D Live, I think. Now, Liberty Police, kids left in motel as mom works in pizza shop. The mom, who was found working at a pizza shop, told officers that she usually has someone check in on her children every hour while she is at work. A Liberty Township woman has pleaded not guilty to child endangering after police say they found her 2 daughters left alone in a Belmont Avenue motel room Thursday evening. Acting on a tip, officers found a 10-year-old girl and her 2-year-old sister in a room at the Motel 6 after 6 p.m. The older child said that her mother was at work and expected her to be back by 10 p.m. The mom, 24-year-old Shayna Bell, who was found working at a pizza shop, told officers that she usually has someone check in on her children every hour while she is at work. Bell was booked into the county jail on 2 counts of child endangering. The children were turned over to their father. Now free on bail after a hearing in Girard Municipal Court, Bell is scheduled for another court hearing in April. Now you might wonder, what in the world does this have to do with the Weeknd and some guy whose name I can't pronounce right at the moment, singing about going half on a baby? Well, the reason why I brought this up is because you cannot go half on a baby with a man. You cannot do it. Number one, you will carry that baby in your body, your personal body. No matter where you go, what you do, that baby's going to come right with you for 9 months. Then, when you're laying in bed screaming, somebody help me, this is the worst pain I ever felt in my life. Does he feel that pain? No. Does he even have to be there with you? No. He could move to another state. He could move to another continent. He could move to another planet. Wouldn't make a bit of difference. That baby is on you. After that baby's born, now she is only 24 years old. She has a 10-year-old. That means she has a baby. She had a baby at 14 years old. Where is that man? Did he do any time for this? What happened there? Okay, then she had another one at 22 years old. She only looks barely over 14 right now. Like I said, where's the guy at? Did anything happen to him? Did anybody say, hey, wait a minute, this girl, this woman has a 10-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're left alone. But wait a minute, she didn't make those kids by herself. Where's the father or fathers at? If we are going to charge her with child endangering, they should be charged too. Is she getting any kind of support? Where is her family? And even more importantly, where is the man? It says the children were turned over to their father. So whoever this guy is, he had a baby with her when she was 14. How old is he? Either way, I believe that there is a scripture that even says, it's 2 scriptures, I believe, in Proverbs or Psalms, probably Proverbs, where it basically tells you that when a child does something wrong, the mother is going to get blamed. Period. You will be blamed if your child does something wrong. If the child does something right, the father will get the praise. Even if the father's nowhere around and left right after he got finished with you, they'll still say, this child, if it's an athlete or something, inherited its father's genes. So, you do not go halves on a baby. You just don't. Biologically, it's not possible. And then on top of all this, after you've done all this work, getting this baby here, and then possibly having to raise it by yourself, okay, then on top of that, as if to add insult to injury, if you have a baby with anybody, with some guy, and you manage to make more money than he does, if he decides that he doesn't want you anymore, but he wants that baby, you get to pay him. Now, wait a minute. What about all the work you had to put in when he wasn't even around? Does it count? If you make $200,000 a year, he makes $50,000 a year, but you have 3 kids, he wants to take those kids. Of course, now he wants to take those kids. You will pay him alimony. Well, why doesn't he have to pay you for your womb rental? Why doesn't, it just simply doesn't make sense. This idea of we're going to treat you both as equals. Some ways, yeah, we are equal. We're both humans. We're both breathing air and drinking water and stuff. But our functions are different. Now we get to do all the hard things. We get to go to jobs. We get to go to war. We get to get beat up trying to have a relationship some of the time with these guys. But they do not share our labor pains. They don't share menstrual cramps. They don't share blame, basically. That's all on you. So when R. Kelly first came out with this song, Let's Go Halves on a Baby, yeah, it sounds all romantic. I think it was some white guy saying something about that even before that. Yeah, it sounds good. But ladies, be realistic. That's impossible. You do not go halves on a baby. You got 95% of this. And then, unfortunately, the way that people don't have respect for parents in particular, and mothers, parents in general and mothers in particular, you might give birth to somebody who jumps up and smacks you upside the head or kills you. That's just how it is now. So, that is just something else to consider. When people tell you something stupid like that, accept it for something stupid. Don't ever think that this is a half kind of job. It's not. This is primarily on you. 95%. I think he got the 5% fun part. You got the 95% responsibility part. So I think that, I also don't believe, like Willie D said, make sure you have enough money before you start bringing these babies in. I think that the man is supposed to do that. She did her part. She's having the baby. That is not easy. And my hats are off to single parents, single female-headed households. Because these women are holding it down, and we are getting lighter and lighter with every generation, and that is not because of the women. If it wasn't for these girls having faith in these little dark-skinned boys and bringing brown and dark-skinned kids in the world, this race would be totally white by now. We'd all be walking around looking like Kiki, whatever her name, Kiki Wyatt, talking about we are black. So, this is just something to think about. And it's a short video. And, anyway, just give it some thought, and you guys have a great day. Before I totally sign off, I went to her Fund Me page, and for some reason it's not working right now. So if you see anything any different, put it in the comments or whatever, and if I do, I would do the same. Because I do feel for this young woman, and I don't think that it's fair. I really believe that every time you go see an abandoned child or a mother with 4 children who's trying to go to work and leaves them alone or does something else, you go, I think besides fussing at her, go find the father. Because even beyond law, it took your mother and your father to bring you here. And it's not fair to only go after the mother when something goes wrong. Just like an old story I heard maybe 10 or 15 years ago, where this woman was like 39, 40, something like that. And she had like 6 or 7 children. The oldest was a 16-year-old girl. 16, 14, something like that. But anyway, the mother went out of town. She went out of town to basically prostitute, to bring money home for that family. And everybody talked about how horrible she was. And I felt like, yeah, there are, possibly other ways to bring some money in, some legal or moral ways. But in any case, I felt like, you know what? she didn't make her daughter do it. That daughter is definitely old enough so she could have brought some money in. This was a woman who maybe she had her flaws, but she was trying to look out for her children. And again, where are the fathers? Did they all have the same father? Why didn't he pitch in? Why didn't he provide a place for them to live if that was what the problem was? So, like I said, it seems like all the weight of the world is being thrown on people who have the least ability to carry it. So, my hats are off to single, black, female-headed households. Because, like I said, this race would cease to exist if they weren't there struggling and getting talked about every single day. Again, just something to think about, and you guys have a wonderful day.